Now, spring season is one of my favorite seasons. And I wanted to take I want to double click on spring season because the transition from winter to spring is tough. Because if you think about winter, the snow is melting and you start seeing, okay, the sun's coming out. You think about for my personal life experience, there's been many winters, and most recently we were in the hospital with my son for 8 months. So 252 days of winter. 252 days of winter is a long winter. And going through that, just kind of getting through whatever we can to, just get by. Winter season, I put on some weight. Winter season, I stacked up an extra unwanted 15 plus pounds. Sometimes winter season, it's just what happens. And after winter, the transition to spring requires a positive self-talk is very important during the transition to spring. If you really want to see transformation, there's a few simple, tiny things that are important. Number one thing that I encourage in spring is getting even more clear about what you want and why you want it. So one of the things that I was doing in spring, and I encourage you to do, is journaling. So I would answer that question. What do I really want? What do I really want with my relationships? What do I really want with my money? What do I really want with my business? What do I really want with my health, my fitness? And getting really quick, what do I really want? And then answering the question, why do I want that? Getting really clear. Why else? Why else? Why else? Why else? The more clarity that you can have around why you want certain things, it's going to give you the juice to stay going, because patience is important in spring. So if you plant a couple of seeds in spring, or you get on the scale after day 4 and you still weigh the same, you're going to need some sort of anchor to keep you going. So having that purpose is going to be important for you to be reminded of why you're doing what you're doing. So that's important, number one. And I encourage you to journal it and capture it so you can revisit at any point in time. So number one, what do you want? Why do you want it in spring? Number two is you want to take small, tiny steps. So let's say, for example, the health and fitness one is so easy because it's relevant to me, at least, and it's measurable. Maybe it's not lose 25 pounds. Maybe it's just getting into a rhythm of the gym 3 times a week. See, when I was in a summer season, my gym routine was 4 or 5 times a week, doing high intensity strength training, really going deep on it. Where right now, like as far as transitioning into the spring season, it was go to the gym, just show up, do the elliptical for as long as I feel, usually 20, 30 minutes, sit in the sauna, break a sweat, and then go on the assisted pull-up and dip bar and do 3 sets of however many I could do. Very simple. But by doing those simple, tiny actions during the last several weeks or the first several weeks of spring, you're going to build momentum. So it's very important transitioning from winter to spring is to do small things that can build habits and build momentum and build progress during the spring season. That's where Tiny Actions Daily is so critical. Now, one of the things about spring is also accountability. So when you figure out those things, that would be number 3, is when you figure out what you want and why you want it, and you start putting yourself into activity, it's so critical to have some level of accountability, someone in your corner. I went out and personally during spring hired different coaches and joined different communities. That was quite expensive. I mean, thousands and tens of thousands of dollars in communities that I've joined. Why? Because accountability is so important. Also, encouragement and accountability during the season of spring to root you on and also hold you true to what you said you originally wanted to do. That's really critical during the spring. So that's number 3. The last thing I'll say when it comes to spring and transitioning out of the winter is a little bit of reflection. I would say like a 30-day type of check-in of looking back and saying, wow, look at the progress that I've made. Look at the progress that I've made. Look at the progress I'm making. Maybe it's after every 7 days. Maybe it's 30 days. Maybe it's both. Maybe it's 7 days and 30 days. But as you're in that spring, progress and celebrating all the progress that you're creating to, again, sustain the momentum. So I would make a list of, again, what do you want? Make a list of why you want those. Journal it. get in a habit of those tiny actions that move you closer and closer towards them, and make sure you're being reminded of celebrating those wins to keep that momentum up during the spring season. So that's my biggest advice for you. And really, I think what's helped a ton is having a coach or someone in your corner to encourage you, also hold you accountable, and also offer you a little bit of wisdom and perspective is very important in this spring season as well. So hope that helps. Looking forward to continuing the conversation with you shortly.